pole, totem 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 pole.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere.
Totem pole, totem pole,
totem pole, totem pole.
Dude, how about Germany yesterday versus the USA? LeBron James. Boy, he came through for us in the clutch. He just took over that fourth quarter there, Coach. How are you doing this morning? What is good with you, Coach Taylor? It is good to see you on a Tuesday morning, July 23rd.
PFF NFL top 50 players. We were going to go through that today. We will get to that because yesterday when we went through the top 100 players, professional athletes since 2000 by ESPN, Cleats and Demons. Oh, my fault. Cleats and Dreams. What's good? Smitty 517. Where is the old man that said he could beat the Paul brothers? He is all talk and no action. Wow. Do you know who Smitty 517 is, Coach Bald?
I've heard his name on here a few times. Hey, thanks for joining us this morning.
I think he may be a walking dead man. He's a walking dead man,
Watch what
dude.
you say to some of our alumni, though. Be careful.
Yeah. Because In the Granite 617 is going to love to see you, Smitty 517. In the Granite, where are you at? In the Granite, I'm going to send you a text message. Where is In the Granite, a.k.a. Bobby H. to the Nizzo?
So, Coach, they said that the Miami Heat won the Summer League basketball. What do they get exactly? What do you get when you win a Summer League basketball exhibition? I don't know. What do you get, Coach?
If it's the Lakers, they put up a banner and they give them a Mickey Mouse ring. Yes. So I texted In the Granite 617 because he needs to be aware that Smitty 517 has returned the troll. Now, the life lesson for today is I think the experts aren't an expert. If you look here, number 50 on the Pro Football Focus website is the one and only Deebo Samuel, athlete, wide receiver, running back. Put him wherever you want him, from South Carolina and the San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel. Coach Bald, how do you feel? Are the experts an expert? Deebo Samuel is ranked number 50 out of the pro football players in the NFL.
Yeah, their ratings, I don't know what their ratings are based on, but when you talk about a playmaker, he's arguably the number 2 biggest weapon for the 49ers, and sometimes they will make him the number 1 weapon for them. He's a guy, you can line him up in the slot, you can line him up on the outside, you can line him up at tailback. You can put him at tight end if you want. You know what I mean? The guy is a beast. I'm sure he can probably throw the football. He's a football player. And, when you're talking about a top 50 and you're putting him at number 50, I don't know. When you look at the 49ers, you're looking at one of the top 4 teams in the National Football League. Arguably, you could even say they're top 2. They did lose in the Super Bowl, and I'm sure they got a big old chip on their shoulder coming into the season. In my opinion, I don't know. I think you cut that in half, maybe put him around 25, because the guy, he's such a physical receiver. And that's the thing about those 49er receivers that I really love about them is that they can block. And you know what our motto used to be at Lakewood? no block, no rock, which means if you ain't blocking on running plays, we ain't going to throw you the ball on passing plays. What do you think about that, Coach?
Hey, I'm just glad to have the Golden Child. Everybody go follow the Golden Child and his YouTube channel. We're sitting here, Life Lessons Podcast. The experts aren't experts. I don't even think human beings come up with these lists. So we're looking at the Pro Football Focused, Lydell, NFL top 50 players. Number 50 is Deebo Samuel. And then we have Smitty517 has came on here today, Lydell, and said, where is the old man that said he could beat the Paul brothers? He is all talk and no action. Do you know who he's talking about, Lydell?
I want to say, Mike Tyson, maybe?
I think he's talking about who, Coach Bald?
He's talking about our guy Granite, but look, let's not let him be a distraction. We got top 50 here.
In the Granite 617. He wants some action.
He's gonna get the smoke. He's gonna get the smoke if he keeps talking like that. But look, we are live here. We got pro football player joining us from Germany, the Golden Child. What is up, my man? Tell us about that football game you had.
Gator is in the house.
What's up with the football game? Did y'all win, Lydell?
Did we? They was dead from the jump.
It was a nail biter.
It was like practice. It was practice. It was 63-0. I had like 2 pass
y'all blew the scoreboard up.
Yeah. It should have been a lot worse. They called 4 touchdowns back.
Wow, sounds like I was coaching the game. Elijah Benton. Thank you, Elijah Benton. Elijah Benton, welcome back to Totem Pole Nation. We're talking about the 2024 PFF Pro Football Focus top 50 players in the NFL list. Lydell, they got Deebo Samuel. Gator says, welcome, Elijah. They have Deebo Samuel at number 50. How do you feel about that, Lydell?
That's he's a good reliable asset to the team. Running and receiving, he actually pretty good. So I want to say that's not a bad number for him. I actually would have thought it would probably been a little higher, honestly. But after last year, it's just with the consistency. You just gotta be very consistent with it.
So facing injuries and being hurt brought his ranking down, in your opinion. All right, so number 49. And this is kind of crazy how they do these lists. Wow. The top 100 athletes, they had Charles Woodson, and then they had Darrelle Revis or something. I was like, what? How could Darrelle Revis? Nobody said Darrelle Revis was ever better than Charles Woodson. But number 49 on the list, right before Deebo Samuel, is Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco 49ers. Looks like somebody's trying to hurt his his trade status. They're trying to lowball this guy, Coach Bald. Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, they wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl if it wasn't for those two guys. Everybody talks about Christian McCaffrey, but if they don't have those two guys on the outside, they're going to stop that running game.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach, without a doubt. That was the thing, too. When Deebo went down, Ayuk was kind of forced into that number 1 position, and he did nothing but, flash what you want from a number 1. He took over in those games. He had a huge game early in the season. I want to say he went close to 2 bills in one game. But, yeah, man, somebody's going to pay that guy, man. Wide receiver is a very, very needy position. A great wide receiver, he can open up everything for the running game, everything. The tight ends underneath. When you got a stud wide receiver, he demands, 2 players in his zone. And I tell you what, when this guy Ayuk gets in the zone, watch out, because he could take one a 5-yard out, he could take it 50 real quick. Yeah, man, I don't know. Whoever did this list, I don't think they did their homework. Getting two guys that are on basically the number 2 team in the league, and you put them at 50 and 49. I just don't know about this list, Coach. What do you think about that, Lydell? You think these guys did their homework, or we're just going to just start plucking guys up? We'll just put teammates back to back. I don't get it.
I don't think they did their homework. Now I'm very interested who's at number 48 right now.
Yeah. I really think artificial intelligence does these lists, and they don't even tell us. Like Gator, good morning, fellas. Then we have Smitty517 says, where is in the Charmin 617? I'm telling you, Smitty, are you Charles Bronson? Do you have a death wish? I mean, you're going a little too far there, buddy. All right, number 48 on the PFF Pro Football Focus. Javon Holland, safety for the Miami Dolphins. Now, you guys are Florida guys. What can y'all tell me about Javon Holland? Coach Ball?
Hey, he's a playmaker in that secondary. You know, he's a playmaker. The Miami Dolphins are a team that is loaded on the offense. They're going to put up a lot of points. So what you need in the secondary is you need a guy that can make some plays. Yeah, he's definitely a dual threat guy. Good size, man. The guy can come up. He can play inside the box. You know, but usually those guys are playing with a lead, and he's been known to make some big stops in that secondary. Hey, I like him. I like him a lot. And like I said, that Miami team, they can put some points up. So you need some guys back there that can play good defense. And I like him at that spot. I don't like the other two guys at their spots. I don't like Ayuk, and I don't like Deebo at those spots.
So you give thumbs down on the rankings of Ayuk and Deebo, but you give a thumbs up to Javon Holland's spot on this list.
Correct. How about yourself? What do you think? You being a prowler in that secondary and know what it's supposed to look like. What is your insight on that golden child?
He's a playmaker. He definitely step up and make tackles, because you always want a DB that can tackle. I'll take a DB that can tackle any day above anybody else. If you can tackle in the secondary, hey, I want you on my team. So he definitely got to step up and tackle.
So number 48, Javon Holland out of the Oregon Ducks. Now we have our first offensive lineman. And I thought the Detroit Lions offensive line was the best offensive line last year. They were nasty, led by Penei Sewell. But Frank Ragnow, Detroit Lions center, there he is. Look at this guy. They didn't even give him a jersey with the number on it. Look at that.
That's
Do you think he cared? Do you think he cared that they gave him a jersey without the number on it? 6'5", 310 pounds out of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Coach Ball, you are the offensive line expert for Totem Pole Nation. How do you think about Frank Ragnow? I thought the best offensive line in football, being ranked number 47 in the top 50 players in the NFL from PFF.
Wow. Well, you know what? Center is a position that does not get a lot of love ever. But the center has to be probably your smartest offensive lineman. He has to make all the calls, all the adjustments. Hey, and I'll tell you what, Frank Ragnow, I mean, that guy's a monster. You know, when you talk about coming from the University of Arkansas, you're talking about SEC linemen. SEC linemen, they play the best talent in the world before they get to the big stage. So the guy's been on the big stage for a long time. I like the pick. I love the Detroit Lions offensive line. I love their head coach. He does have that riverboat Ron in him, and he definitely went for it way too many times on fourth down. But that offensive line is monstrous, and it starts with the big man at center, number 77. And I like the guy, and they're a team. You know, every offseason, college teams, pro teams, they'll focus on stuff. And I believe it was you that told me when you went down to the University of Miami, what were they studying? They were studying the power rush attack of the Detroit Lions, because those guys were able to pound the rock and just physically beat people up to where at the end of the game, all they had to do was run the clock out. You know what I mean? And that's what you have to do to seal victories. You have to eat up the clock at the end. You have those 4-minute, your 4-minute drill, your 2-minute drill. But the Detroit Lions, arguably one of the best rushing teams in the league. And, because they had 2 running backs, I don't think you hear as much about it. If just one of those running backs was the premier guy and got all the carries, he would be up there with the top rushers of the league. What do you think about that as well, Lydell?
I don't know. I do not know. Honestly, I don't know.
But how important is the offensive line in pro football, Lydell?
They are very important. Shoot, even the center is very important. Without a center, it's not going to really, it ain't going to really happen. That center is the main
quarterback of the offensive line. Is he not?
Exactly. A lot of people say quarterback
guarantees out a teddy bear on the field. Look at
a lot of people explain that the quarterback is the most important guy. Me personally, I think the center is the most important guy on that field. Everything involves around that center.
Number 46. Number 46 tight end out of the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Andrews. Are any of y'all familiar, either one of y'all familiar with Mark Andrews? 6'5", 247 pounds, a 4.67 from the Oklahoma Sooners. Mark Andrews. Now, this Baltimore Ravens, Coach John Harbaugh just came out and defended his quarterback, a guy from South Florida, saying Lamar Jackson is not being treated fairly. Lamar Jackson just won the MVP in the NFL last year. So how do y'all feel about Mark Andrews and the Baltimore Ravens, Coach Bald?
Yeah, they're definitely a different team when he's on the field. Unfortunately, he's been a guy that's been often injured. And when he's out there, he's as dominant as can be. He's a great target. He gets open. He's not the physical blocker that like a Rob Gronkowski would be, but he's definitely more physical than a Travis Kelce. I like Mark Andrews. And like I said, they're a different team when he's out there and he's participating because he does add that extra value. So the smaller guys on the outside can really stretch that field. And in my opinion, Lamar Jackson isn't given his flowers simply because he's been bounced out of the playoffs. And, when it comes to talking about the best in the world and the MVPs, it's what you do in the biggest game. The biggest players make the biggest plays in the biggest games. And, maybe it was that receiver dropping that pass, that did it. But it's always going to fall back on the quarterback because he is always going to be, the team captain for most teams. Lydell, what do you think about Mark Andrews? You being in that secondary, how important is it to have a beast of a tight end, and what does that bring to the table? And how hard is it to defend a team that has a monster there at the tight end position, sir?
We was talking about this last week with Miami, with them not having a tight end, and with Baltimore Ravens and Mark Andrews, it shows how important a tight end is. So if you got a tight end that can run routes, catch the ball, make plays consistently, hey, he's deadly for that secondary. Very. And if you don't have a linebacker that can cover, then hey, y'all finna be in for a long day. Not only just him, then you got Lamar Jackson back in the backfield as well too. That is a dual threat. Then we got Mark Ingram, not Mark Ingram. Who they just
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry.
You got Derrick Henry back there as well too. So I don't know. I feel like Baltimore. I think they going to the championship, but it depending on how they do in the championship, if they make it a Super Bowl or not. So
Gator says, I lost y'all bad service. Gator, great to have you back. Gator, this is for you.
Gator is in the house.
I was just thinking about the tight end position. Whether you have middle of the field closed or middle of the field open. Middle of the field closed, that tight end can hit that seam. If it's middle of the field open, he can run right inside of that safety. He doesn't want to go to the middle of the field because he may run into the other safety. But right inside of that safety to his side, and the quarterback throws him open. What a weapon. You have to be aware of that, don't you? Playing safety back there.
Very.
Mark Andrews, 45 on the PFF top 50 NFL football players. A linebacker out of the New Orleans Saints, Demario Davis. Look at those dreads. Is he from South Florida? I'm going to check his bio. 6'2", 248 pounds, 4'6", 40 out of Arkansas State. Wow. He was originally drafted by the New York Jets. Demario Davis. Are y'all familiar with Demario Davis, Coach Bald?
Yeah, he plays here at least once a year because, the Saints are in the division with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And, man, the guy, he's a freak. You know what I mean? He can, he can catch running backs out of the backfield. He can cover tight ends. He's a guy that you just clamp on, your best offensive back or your best tight end, and he can lock those guys down. He's definitely a big-time player. I like that ranking. I like the ranking of most of the guys. I didn't like where, Deebo and Ayuk were sitting at. And, that Andrews as well, like him, I would rank him a lot higher if he was, not injured, but he's definitely battled a lot of injury. But yeah, Demario Davis, I mean, I think the guy's a monster. He's always making plays against the Bucks. And, you have to make plays in your biggest games. And when you're talking about your biggest games, that's always a big game for Tampa because they're in the division and they're always trying to it always usually comes down to one of those two teams. Tampa's won, I think, the last 4 years in a row. But before that, dude, it was the Saints to beat because they had Drew Brees. They had players like Demario Davis and everything. Let me get your insight on this as well because whenever you have a linebacker like him, how much easier does it make it playing in the secondary? If you could for us, Lydell.
It makes it a whole lot easier. He can sit there and lock down the slot guys, anything that comes across. He can step like foot to foot with anybody that's in front of his face. So that's a great thing and a great asset for the team as well. He's definitely a great playmaker. He shows up at big games at all times as well too. So, yeah.
Out of Mississippi. Mississippi is overlooked when it comes to football players. The state of Mississippi is loaded, man. Demario Davis at number 45. Seneca. Having Breeze was the key. They got a good squad, just not the quarterback to have a real chance. Seneca, I think I was up in your neck of the woods. Are you from near the Buffalo area? I saw Seneca everywhere. This is for you, Seneca. Gators said, let's go Bucks. Coming in at number 44. Man, this guy they tried to sabotage. I think he went to Ole Miss. Tunsil out of the Houston Texans. Coach Bald, you like offensive linemen. What can you tell me about Mr. Tunsil? And he's coming in at number 44.
The guy is just a monster. They'll line up their best defensive end, and he will keep those guys quiet all game. I mean, I believe when Houston got rid of him, they traded 2 or 3 number 1 picks to get the guy. I mean, you don't mortgage your future unless you have a talented individual. He slid to the Dolphins because of, he had that gravity bong that he was taking bong hits from that they showed up on draft day. That right there cost that man probably $1 billion. It cost him a ton of money, but the guy is a player. And he, every year a team comes out of nowhere, and it's because of the offensive line. And he's been leading that way for a good while. Like we were saying with Detroit, the offensive line, they have some good ball players up there. And yeah, he is from South Florida. He was the top recruited guy coming out of high school. I believe he went to Ole Miss. And
what high school in South Florida?
He kind of fell to the Dolphins. The Dolphins pulled the trigger because they knew they got a top 3 pick. I think around like 8 or 9 they got him. But, yeah, I think the guy is definitely a stud. I think whenever Trent Williams decides to retire and Lane Johnson, I believe you're going to hear his name, and the big offensive tackle here in Tampa, Tristan Wirfs. You're going to be hearing those 2 guys for the next 8 years as talking about the best offensive lineman in pro football. But what is your insight on him? And do you ever blitz? Do they ever send you from the safety position or corner position to where you may have to touch nose with a left tackle? And what is your thoughts on that?
What about to say 2 weeks ago they had I had a blitz. I had to go against a tackle, but watching Shaquem and his little techniques and everything like that, I learned a little something. So I had got by him, but I had missed a sack or whatnot. But it's very interesting going against the tackles, and with him with the big body and his long arms and everything like that, it's tough. It's tough to get around him, especially as a corner. So you have to come up with some speed, some techniques, but he'll still be right there. So yeah, he's a good tackle.
Amen. You don't want 44. You don't want him to get hands on you. Coach Taylor, tell me. Go ahead.
Dude, that guy's a beast. And I think sometimes they sabotage these guys in the draft. Like a team will release information just so somebody else won't draft them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Miami Dolphins knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Derek Brown out of the Carolina Panthers, number 43. He's a defensive lineman. Look at this guy. This is what you're looking for right here, man. I don't even think this guy shaves. He looks like a big kid. But I tell you one thing, when this guy gets on the field, he's trying to hurt you. Look at that. He's born in 1998. He's 6'5", 320 pounds out of Auburn. He's been in the NFL since 2020. I mean, look at this dude. That is a bad hombre.
What?
How would you like him running after your quarterback? That makes playing DB easy when you got a guy like him. 6'5", 320. What do you think, Lydell? Derek Brown out of Auburn.
Oh, he
in
came
the
from
43 position.
Oh yeah, man. Auburn breeds some nice D linemen as well. He's a dog, man. I feel sorry for my quarterback, honestly. That man, that is a beast, man.
What do you think about that chain? That chain's guys. That platinum, is that diamonds?
Definitely probably diamonds.
DB, Coach Ball, that looks like Lambo's chain. Other than that one's real.
You remind me of my fat gold chain. But hey, tell me this, Coach. Derek Brown, is he one of those Virginia Beach guys?
I don't believe he is.
Yeah,
but I will check it right now.
Derek, I believe he's a Virginia Beach guy. I believe he played for somebody that was the Dolphins up there, and I think
that's Derek Nottie. Because there ain't many guys that are 6'5", 300 pounds. He's from Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
That guy, he's definitely a monster. You don't hear about him because he's from the Carolina Panthers. If he was playing on the Pittsburgh Steelers, they'd have that guy all world. If he was playing on the Dallas Cowboys, he'd be the second coming of Randy White, man. That guy is a freaking monster. We see him here in Tampa, and trust me, we try to run away from that guy because he's a man-child there at that defensive tackle spot at 6'5", 320. Probably runs a 4.9 40 too, man. The guy's a freak. He's an athlete. Like a lot of those SEC defensive linemen, man. What do you think? How do you try to block a guy like that, Coach Taylor? Or do you just run away from him?
Put 2 people on him. Slide the center that way. That's all I can say, man. Tell the running back, be ready to chip him or take his kneecap out when you get a chance. Yeah. Sometimes they call it the Vaseline offensive line.
Ooh.
Yeah. Get ready to get, CB, Jalen Johnson, cornerback, Jalen Johnson out of the Chicago Bears. Look at this guy. This is what a corner looks like. This is the first corner I think we've had. 6 foot, 196 pounds out of Utah. Jalen Johnson. Lydell, do you know anything about Jalen Johnson? You're a corner. You're a DB guy out of Utah.
Yeah, I know a lot about him. Me personally, I feel like I play just like him. My game at corner, I play exactly like him. Step
Yes,
up.
it is. Let's add
tackle.
Howard Shotsky. Howard Shotsky into the group. Welcome, Howard Shotsky. Now, Howard Shotsky, I want to share a few things with you and make you aware of the situation that is currently developing. There's a guy named Smitty517, and he's a troll. He says, "Where is the old man that said he could beat the Paul brothers? He is all talk and no action."
Old man, huh?
Yeah. then Smitty517 says, "Where is In the Charmin 617?" Howard Shotsky, what do you think about that?
I just want to know if he would say that to him in person.
No. I do not believe so. We're going through the PFF, Pro Football Focus, a.k.a. Chris Collinsworth is making more money. Why is he still on NBC? I don't know. But it may be because he owns PFF. Why is his son on there?
I got a question first. I don't know if anybody saw it yesterday. I'm sure you did. But did anybody catch the USA versus Germany basketball game?
Coach Ball did.
Yes,
Lydell, who were you cheering for?
I didn't watch it yesterday. I was so busy working on my videos and everything like that. So, yeah, I missed it yesterday.
This is the first time that I ever felt LeBron was even similar to Jordan. Because we were tied up, and at the end of that game, my man, the King, put that team on his back, and I think he had every point and every rebound in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game.
How many NBA players does Germany have playing for them?
I know they have Franz Wagner, and they had a guy who could drain threes like crazy.
Yeah,
so he's basically playing against guys that are taxi men. They drive a taxi for a living or Uber.
They got some good players overseas. You know, don't sleep on overseas basketball. They're getting closer and closer to the talent level in the NBA. And if you notice, look at the 10 top 10 draft picks every year. How many of them are actually from America now?
None. You're exactly right. You are exactly right.
We can't just throw a team out there anymore and expect that we're going to win by 40. But I'll tell you what, the last 5 minutes of that game, that was the best I've ever seen him play.
The best you've ever seen him play. That is amazing. Coach Ball, do you feel the same way? Because you have been very critical of LeBron James throughout the years, but you told me that you were impressed and he put our country on his back.
You know, Howard, that's pretty much how I feel every time I join the podcast with you guys. I feel like my back hurts afterwards, like I just been squatting, carrying the whole team the whole time. No, I'm kidding, man. I love you guys. Y'all are the best. But, hey, I saw the same thing. The thing that I enjoyed the most was him using his physicality, him bodying guys out of the way, making left-handed buckets. He didn't have any flaws in his game, and he was in on the defensive rebounds. He was playing defense. It was beautiful, man. It was exactly what, you know, it fit the bill. It fit the nickname of King James. You know, we're going to need him to do that, unfortunately. Everybody else has gotten a lot better than they've ever been. You know, international basketball is getting big, man. It's going to be as big as soccer one day, I believe, at the pace it's going. You know, especially when you see these tight games, it gives more people, you know, some, you know, just wanting to do it more, wanting to get better, wanting to be on that big stage with them. And yeah, man, I think you saw it in Sudan too. Man, what a game that was. And he took over that game as well. So I agree with you on that, Howard. I think.
Yeah. Now I looked at the game in the first half just to check out the score on my phone. And when I saw we were supposed to win by about 16 or 17, I said, I ain't going to check this out. This is the team we're going to blow out.
Right.
Then it was the fourth quarter, and I glanced down at my phone and I said, holy, we are tied up with them. And that's when I switched it on. I'm glad I caught the last 5 minutes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Gator says, yes, he did. He put them on his back. Be smart and use common sense. Totem Pole Nation in the Granite 617 is the most stand-up man in Massachusetts. Amen. And we're not going to allow a guy, Smitty 517, who's a fake Bostonian. 517 isn't even an area code in Boston. Be smart, use common sense. Smitty, that old man will hurt you badly. Gator says, be smart and use common sense. Yes, Howard.
I would like to see it in person.
Be smart, use common sense. Fist. Gator. Better tell him, bro, he's barking up the wrong tree.
You can
Be
tell.
smart, use common sense. Gator.
You can tell that seeing it in person brings a little joy to me, because
yes.
I know how my man would react if someone came up and said that in his face, and I'm betting the other guy would be standing up straight for about 5 more seconds.
He would go to sleep. He would put him to sleep.
In all likelihood, yes.
Be smart and use common sense. 53. He trains harder than 20 to 30-year-olds. Number 41 on the 2024 PFF Pro Football Focus Top 50 Players in the NFL, Jalen Carter.
Wow.
Now look at this guy. That guy right there, he's in his Georgia uniform. Jalen Carter. Coach Bald. Be smart and use common sense says he may kill him. How do you feel about Jalen Carter being number 41 on this list?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. The kid's 23 years old. I need to see more. I need to see a lot more for him to be at 41. I think that they are, I don't know, somebody that has done this list must be within the Philadelphia Eagles organization. The guy's only played, a season, 2 seasons maybe. But, hey, he has potential. He went to the legendary Apopka. Do you know another legendary defensive lineman who might have played here at Tampa Bay Bucks that wore number 99 from Apopka?
Warren Sapp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the guy was all world at Georgia. I need to see more film on him, though. I'm not sold on him. There's some other defensive linemen, maybe for some other teams that are not as popular as the Eagles, not as popular as the Cowboys and Steelers, that I think should possibly be on that list. But yeah, let me ask you this. I know that you're a guru when it comes to the NFC East, Howard Shotsky. What is your thought process on Jalen? Not on Jalen, but on Jalen Carter. What is your thought process on him? I got a
question for you first. Are you located anywhere near Okeechobee?
No, sir. Okeechobee is about an hour away from me. That's more, I believe that's more central Florida. You're talking not far from the Polk County area, which is where Ray Lewis went in the Lakeland district.
Yeah, one of the
high school.
One of the best athletes I've ever seen. My college roommate is from Okeechobee, and he played football at Tulane. Dropped all his classes one semester and got kicked off the team, and then walked on to he had been drafted out of high school by the Reds, which I didn't know at the time. Walked up to the Tulane baseball team, was a top 10 team, became the closer, and ended up playing 8-9 years in the major leagues.
Wow.
But
let me chime in really quick. Talking about that, if you're watching here, Totem Pole Nation, and you are looking for possibly a base stealer in Major League Baseball, I got a guy that's on with us live right now that could easily steal some bases. All right, it's my main man, the Golden Child, Lydell Gordon. Tell me about you stealing bases. Have you ever played baseball, and did you steal any bases, sir?
No, but I played kickball. I used to steal bases all the time. I played kickball. Yeah. I always wished I played baseball though, because me being a DB and playing safety and everything like that, and I'm a ball hawk. Whenever that ball is in the sky, I just go grab it, And I just wish I actually played baseball in my younger years.
Man, absolutely. Coach Taylor, you watch a lot of NFC East football, being right there outside of the Commanders area there, not in Washington, but in Richmond, Virginia. What do you think about Jalen Carter? I know he's given you guys some problems early on in his early career. What do you think?
I mean, dude, I thought the Eagles were going to be better last year. I mean, they basically have the entire University of Georgia defense. Maybe they need Kirby Smart coaching that defense. But, I mean, they are loaded. Be smart and use common sense, Gator. He will be humbled. Gator, Carter was a beast. I hated it when we played Georgia when he was there. Smitty 517, is Be Smart the old man? If so, he ain't – no way. I can't read that, dude. I can't read that.
I don't know why you even started to read it.
I mean, dude, when you call somebody that, that's fighting words, dude. Like, there's two things you're not going to call my friend. That's one of them. All right. Smitty 517. Jalen Carter is a dude. Is he the guy that was involved with the accident?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe
yeah, man. I mean, he's an animal. Okay, so number 40. This is a guy that's past his prime. I mean, he's been a great player in the NFL, but Jalen Ramsey does not have the worth and value of Brandon Ayuk. I think that they are trying to lower the value of Ayuk and of Deebo Samuel by putting them so low on this list. People use these lists to make their fantasy football team. So, some of y'all play fantasy football, but Jalen Ramsey used to be the best corner in the NFL. He plays the Miami Dolphins. He went to the University of what was it? Was it Florida State or Tennessee? I can't remember.
He went to Florida State.
Florida State. He's from Tennessee. He's from Nashville, I believe. Jalen Ramsey at number 40. Lydell, how do you feel about that?
Me personally, I actually feel like it's actually a good spot, only because he had that injury. Was it last year or the year before? One of those years he had the injury or whatnot, and he came back after the injury and just started playing ball and had a couple interceptions, a couple big plays, and everything like that. But this year, if he up and running, he'll show the reason why he should be at 40 or above 40. But I don't believe he's past his prime. I feel like it's more to come with Jalen Ramsey.
Gator says, yes, sir, he will. He's in there with the big boys now. Gator said, kickball is fun. Howard, I see you shaking your head.
No, I'm right there with Lydell. I think Jalen Ramsey has some gas left in his tank.
Yeah.
Coach Bald, what do you think?
I think he's kind of slowly running out of gas, but it's hard to tell because when you look in that division, you don't have Diggs in there anymore. I guess Garrett Wilson will be probably the best receiver that he'll tangle with this season. And who even plays wide receiver for the New England Patriots? Let's phone in a friend. Where's Lambeau at? Who is playing wide?
They're guys that deliver pizzas for a living.
Who's playing wide? Hey, you know what? You're a hustler when you're delivering pizzas at 8:17 in the morning. Kudos to you, Lambeau. You are the man. But, I don't know. I've just seen him a few times play when he was playing for the Rams, and Mike Evans just absolutely torched him. And I'm excited to see what Mike Evans is on this list because he has to be in this top 50. If not, throw the list in the garbage because it doesn't belong. But, man, that's my philosophy on Ramsey. He's a guy that has the size. He has the look. He has the swag. But I don't know if he has all that game left in him. And like I said, that division isn't very scary when it comes to wide receivers. We'll see because, like I said, the Miami Dolphins, they're going to put some points up. So all they got to do in that secondary really is, what the Buffalo Bills did during their run was, they bend, but they don't break. So that's what the Dolphins are going to have to do to have some success this year. They're going to have to bend, but not break and, hold a team under 30, and I think you'll see the Dolphins win a lot of games this year. What do you? Oh, I'm looking at the next pick, offensive guard, Joe Thuney out of Kansas City. Dude, he was a stud for the New England Patriots, and he's a big reason why Kansas City is where they're at. Joe Thuney, but you know what? Is he really that big of a game changer and playmaker to have him at 39? Holy cow. What do you think about that, Coach Taylor? I know you follow the Kansas City Chiefs, and we have ties to the Kansas City Chiefs because our man Crystal Ball Paul goes every offseason, and he smokes some meat with the great coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid. What is your insight on this guy?
I mean, if he's 39, he's got to be the best offensive lineman on the Chiefs. I couldn't imagine the Chiefs having another offensive lineman in the top 39. So the question is he the best guy on their team? I mean, Howard is shaking his head. Howard likes these topics. Howard, Howard, I know your profession. You're getting excited, man. Howard.
It's about time the big guys got some recognition, but what I'm really wondering about is who the hell is ordering pizza at 8:15 in the morning? And just so you know, whoever ordered that pizza, I love me some pizza. But after my wife died, I put on about 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
You're on your way to gaining some weight. Because right now, if you're eating pizza at 8:30 in the morning, you need to take care of.
Well, I've already eaten one pizza, so I have got some stuff I need to take care of. Now, Lydell, what do you think about Joe Thuney?
He a good inside protector for sure, and he definitely could move up to the second level for their run game as well. So he's a great asset to the Chiefs on line. So yeah, he's great. I like him.
Howard, did you know that Lydell, the golden child, is a content creator? That he has his own YouTube channel?
Yes, about 5 seconds ago when you told me.
Okay, right on. Thank you very much. You're a good listener. Number 38.
Another guard.
Yeah, you're excited about these big guys, Howard. Chris Lindstrom. Is he related to Grant? It ain't Grant Lindstrom. Grant Lindstrom. Where is he out of? 1997, 6'3", 307, out of Boston College. Boston College put some offensive linemen in the NFL. Are you familiar with Chris Lindstrom, guard from the Falcons, Howard?
I'm more familiar with Chris Snee, who played for the Giants from Boston College.
And the Falcons were bad. They were not good last year. I'm very surprised that this kid is ranked so high.
I believe they're predicted to win 6 or 7 games this year.
6 or 7. Coach Bald, you're the resident offensive line expert of Totem Pole Nation. Coach Bald, Hog Football Chat. Chris Lindstrom, guard from the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, dude, they got Tunsil after this kid? Like, Tunsil can move inside and play guard for another 5 to 8 years. Like, is this kid that much better than Tunsil? Coach Bald.
You know, I think they completely got this wrong. All right. You know, when you look at the offensive line, I mean, if you look at any offensive line and there's a name and it's Matthews, you know, Jake Matthews, the stud out of Texas A&M, Bruce Matthews' son, arguably one of the best offensive linemen of all time. When you leave that guy off the list for his teammate, you know, I don't know what they're smoking at PFF, but I don't want a piece of that because I might lose my mind too. What do you think about that, Lydell? Are you familiar with Jake Matthews? He's only been the left tackle for 6 seasons, starting every single game, and he's probably got about 6 to 8 more seasons left in him. What do you think?
I've seen a couple plays from him over the years. He get off the ball kind of fast, especially like on screens. Man, he'll get to the outside linebacker very fast. So I've seen a couple of those, and I noticed him specifically, and yeah, he definitely can move.
Wow.
Number 37, a safety, Lydell. Jesse Bates III out of the Atlanta Falcons. There he is, Jesse Bates, number 3. 6'1", 200 pounds out of Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. Lydell, are you familiar with Jesse Bates III, and does he deserve to be ranked 37 on the top 50 players in the NFL?
No, I'm not familiar, but I can look at a little highlight really quick to see the type of game he plays or whatnot.
I mean, that's 2 guys in the Falcons in the top 50. I think the Buffalo Bills only had 1 player in the top 50. The Falcons got 2. Howard, what's your thoughts on this pick right here?
You know, they got a decent secondary, but I don't know if they stand out enough to have anybody up that high.
I was thinking that too.
Coach Bald, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm not impressed. You know, he plays in the division, and you know, we mollywopped those guys last season, so I'm not impressed. I believe he played for Cincinnati for a while, and kind of went under the radar, and then Atlanta kind of signed him. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm not impressed. I don't think you put him in the top 50. No way. Sorry, but that's my opinion.
Lydell, have you looked at anything on Jesse Bates? What do you think?
He play recognition is pretty good. If the ball is around up inside, he'll step down and come and make a play, make a hit. Great hands as a safety. Like every ball that touched his hands pretty much was a pick. Diving catches and everything. And so a playmaker, yeah, he's definitely a playmaker. I like
Noah James 98. Noah James 98's talking smack to Gator, saying Gator fans. Noah James, thank you for joining Totem Pole. Our boy Gator, we're not going to let you talk junk to him, but I hope you're joking around. This is for you. Number 36 on the Pro Football Focus PFF Top 50 2024. Kansas City Chiefs corner Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie, 5'11", 193 pounds out of the Washington Huskies. They don't put his 40 speed here. All right, is that a red flag, Howard? If they don't have his 40 speed. I know that if Lydell was on here, we would see his 40 speed. Julie Morales. Who is Jaden? Julie Morales, I don't know. Tell us about Jaden. Lydell. Noah James says, GBO, it's all in fun until the 3rd Saturday in September. Uh-oh. And what is the 3rd Saturday in September? Is that the world's largest cocktail party? Trent McDuffie, Lydell, plays corner. Are you familiar with Trent McDuffie, and does he deserve to be 36? He's the 36th best player. So if we're going to have a draft of all the players in the NFL, this guy would be taken 36th overall, according to this list.
Actually, me personally, I actually like that. I like that one. I definitely do.
Why do you like that one?
One-on-ones, he pretty much went most of one-on-ones. Great playmaker. PBU, he's committed to the PBU not fan base, but the community, because I'm part of the PBU. So not too many balls being caught on him. He stepped down on screen plays, make big plays, make great tackles. Even though his 40 is not on there, he's actually pretty fast. He's pretty fast. So I respect him. I respect this game.
Noah James says it will be if everything goes right. Coach Ball, what do you think about Trent McDuffie?
You know, I think you're looking at kind of the same situation as you were with Jalen Ramsey. You're going to have a guy on a team that, you know, if they can play that bend don't break defense, you know, with Pat Mahomes back there on that offense, you're going to be, you're going to be able to probably win a lot of games. I didn't think he was as good as Snead, but, you know, with Snead now being gone, it gives him the opportunity to step up as that lockdown number one. And, that division has some decent receiver play in it, with I think you still got Big Mike Williams, I believe, there in San Diego. And I know you got Devontae Adams there with the Raiders. So if he can lock those guys down, I think you'll see his value hop up. I think it's a little too high for him. I think he should have been, after 50. As far as if you're building a franchise, the top 50 guys you're going to be drafting, I think he's outside of that 50 area. That's just my opinion, Coach.
Is McDuffie better than Jalen Ramsey right now?
I think you have
shaking his head.
I think you have a ton more upside with him because of his youth. You know what I mean? I think I think so. I think he has a little bit more upside. So I would go with him over Ramsey myself personally. What do you think, Coach?
Howard, what do you think about Trent McDuffie being number 36 on the top 50?
I think he's probably one of the top 5 or 6 corners in the NFL, so I don't really have a problem. He's got great technique. He's good in coverage. He's not the most physical player you'll see out there, but he gets the job done pretty well.
That's the insight you get here on Totem Pole Nation. We have Coach Bald, who coached our man Isaiah Wynn. We have Lydell, professional football player in Europe, and a former NFL and coach's agent, still coach's agent, Howard Shotsky. Number 35. This guy's a legacy. Lydell's smiling for some reason right here. Cornerback Patrick Surtain, 2. I believe he is from what's the name of the high school? It is Aquinas. Is he from Aquinas?
St. Thomas. I believe he's from St. Thomas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he's 6'2", 202 pounds. Crimson Tide, Patrick Surtain II. Lydell, Patrick Surtain II, number 35 overall, cornerback out of the Crimson Tide, Alabama, and the Denver Broncos. What are your thoughts on Patrick Surtain?
Me personally, I think that's kind of low for him. I think he should be in the top 20 because his game is just outstanding. Like he's one of my favorite corners right now in the league. So yeah, he should have been a little higher than 30.
Coach Bald.
Yeah, man, I got to co-sign with that, man. I mean, the guy's a player. The thing that hurts him and hurts his value is that the Broncos struggled last season. They started off, terrible, but they ended up pretty decent. I think their record at the end of the season was 8-9. But lockdown corner, man. He's what you want. He is the future, probably top corner in the league. You heard it here first. He's 6'2", about 200. And the guy, it's in his blood, and you talk about guys that have to go against studs. He's going against that same division there, but he's got to go against Patrick Mahomes twice a season. So, whoever their top receiver is, he's going to be probably trying to lock him down. You might even see him trying to get physical with Kelsey, but he's the type of player that can do it. What do you think? I know you check out the secondary quite a bit too, Howard. What is your thought process on Patrick Surtain?
I'm right there with Lydell. I think he should be in the top 15 players in the league. I think he's probably the best corner in the NFL right now at this time.
Wow. Yeah.
Howard, does artificial intelligence make these lists, or are these human beings?
Who knows at this point?
I totally agree. Number 34. They came out with this fancy name for defensive ends or guys who go get the quarterback. And wow. This one kind of stands out, dude, as being a little low. I mean, this guy should be ranked higher on this list. He should be 34. Like, he was the number 1 pick. And since they picked Aiden Hutchinson, and he's in Detroit Lions must be trying to save money. They're using the same jersey for all their players' headshots. I guess because they cut it off. But this guy right here, I mean, he looks like your regular old guy right there that could be in a bar somewhere. But no, when you look at this guy, he's 6'7", 268 pounds. I think his dad played in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson, Coach Bald. I mean, they got Aiden Hutchinson. He was the number 1 draft pick. Since they picked him, it changed their whole franchise. This guy is a freakazoid. I mean, he makes the Bosas look like normal human beings. He's 6'7", 270 pounds. What do you think, Coach Bald? Did PFF get this one wrong?
Hey, man, Detroit, they hit the home run with this. You know, we're talking about a Detroit franchise that, 10, 20 years ago drafted 3 receivers number 1 in back-to-back-to-back seasons. Finally, these guys are getting it right. You know, and you talk about the edge, you talk about 6'7" and putting your hands up, dude, that's 9 feet. That's 9 feet you got to throw over. Not a lot of guys can do that. But he did, man. He became just the 5th NFL player in the last 18 seasons to record over 100 pressures. 100 pressures. So if you look at that, you're talking about 17 game season. This guy is getting at the quarterback almost 7-8 times a game. That is a lot of pressure right there, and that's what it takes to slow down these stud quarterbacks that they had in that division. You talk about Love. He is the future. And now, you got the kid out of Michigan that's going to the Vikings. That's going to be you're going to see those guys in that division start to draft offensive linemen very quickly just to kind of block, try to block that guy. But, dude, I love him. I think he's going to be top 10 within the next 2 years. Aiden Hutchinson. And, yes, his dad was an offensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks, and I believe he is in the Hall of Fame as well. What do you think about him? I know you get to watch a lot of Northeast football. What do you think about him, Howard?
I don't think his father played in the NFL. I know he played for Michigan. I think the guy's a hell of a player. Probably should have been a little higher up than he is, but, he's young. He's obviously going to be one of those $30-40 million a year players when his deal is up.
Yeah, without a doubt. What do you think, Lydell?
He's a beast. I saw a film just a few moments ago, and wow, his technique, him getting to the ball, he's a beast. Sheesh.
I mean, I've never been in those first round rooms or any of those draft places like you have, Howard. But when you talk about Stargrove would be a first round pick. Stargrove, you would be our Aiden Hutchinson. Go get the quarterback. Here you go. Thank you, Stargrove. Howard, in that first round, I mean, do you draft guys that do things you can't coach? I mean, are you taking a normal human being, someone that looks like me and you? Or are you taking a freak in that first round?
Different people look for different things. Some people want the best player available at that pick number. Some people want to fill their biggest need. It all depends on the GM.
Number 33, linebacker, Roquan Smith out of the Baltimore Ravens. Coach Bald's hype. Number 0, Roquan Smith, 6'1", 236 pounds, a 4.5 40, another Georgia guy, another Kirby Smart guy. Coach Bald, why are you so excited when you see Roquan Smith?
I think he flew under the radar with the Chicago Bears due to them just having poor seasons. Now he's on a good program, a good football team, and you see, man, he's one of the best in the league, arguably the top middle linebacker in the game. The guy's just a freak, man. He can line up. He can shut down your tight end. He can come up and stop the run. There's not a lot of holes in that guy's game. And when you talk about a team like the Baltimore Ravens, you're talking about a team that has a plethora of legendary linebackers, and it all starts with Ray Lewis. You know, I think he kind of brings that mentality to the game. He brings that toughness to a tough team. And I think if he does exactly what Liddell says and he gets those guys into that big game, I think he's going to have to be a big piece of that puzzle. You know, you talk about Baltimore Ravens linebackers, you got to mention, Terrell Suggs. He's an edge guy. This guy, you can kind of put him anywhere on the field and he's going to stand out. I love him being there. I could even see him being top 25. You know, he's a playmaker. He's a game changer. And when you look at linebackers, he's the new protocol linebacker. He's the guy that can cover the tight end, step up in the run game. Heck, he can play. He put him back at safety. The guy's going to make a play. What do you think about him? I know you love that that football in that area because you're right there. That's in your backyard, Howard. Tell us what you know about this stud out of the University of Georgia.
Yeah, there's a reason he's the highest paid linebacker in football right now. That was a great move for the Ravens. And, you know, like you said, the Ravens have a tremendous addition on defense. And when they add a player to their defense, it's usually somebody that's pretty good.
Yeah. Without a doubt. What do you think about him, Liddell? I know you love linebackers. You got to love those Baltimore Ravens, the way they fly around.
Right. I love him. The way he flying around. He reminds me of the young Ray Lewis. He definitely do. And when you start mentioning, I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I actually think Ray Lewis coached him up a little bit as well too. Just the way he played, the way his aggressiveness is just outstanding. He doing a great job. Just like Howard said, it's the reason why he's the highest paid linebacker right now. So,
absolutely, Coach Taylor, what do you think?
I mean, the guy's a player, man. I mean, he's a player, and
Agent Zero.
I'm surprised that he's rated 33. Like, I think he should be higher.
Higher, exactly.
I mean, if he's the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, why is he 33? Is it because they got somebody else they want to get paid higher, rated higher? So 32, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I would rather have Roquan Smith in the inside holding that box down than to have a small receiver. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe Amon St. Ray is not small, but he's 6'1", 200. So, yeah, he's not a particularly small guy. I mean, Roquan Smith is 6'1". But if I got to pick who I want more on my team, I want an inside backer. Amon St. Ray. How many Detroit Lions are on this top 50? I mean, dude, they should win the Super Bowl.
They're loaded with talent.
Yeah. Dude, they should have went to the Super Bowl last year.
Number 32.
The Lions are one of the teams I really like this year, and I liked them last year also.
Liddell, Amon St. Ray, could you lock him down?
I always keep it real with myself. It'd definitely be a challenge. He's a playmaker, man. Nice route running. Get off the line very fluently, and he can extend plays as well too. I can walk him down. Now he ain't gonna run away from me, but I'll definitely step in his face and do what I can.
Wow. Yeah,
what do you think, Coach Bald?
I think you're looking at an underrated receiver right there. If the guy played for the New York Giants, they'd be talking about him like Odell Beckham Jr., in his prime. This guy is a monster. That's why he signed a monster contract, because he does step up in the biggest games. Watch him in those playoff games, man. The guy can get open. I think he's a big deal. And I think you look at him in your top 10, if you're playing fantasy football, he might be your 8. He might be there sitting there at 8 or 9, and he's the one that really gets that thing started, man. They get him the ball, then the secondary has to take a step back. The linebackers have to pause for a second, and that's when they hit you in the mouth with that physical run game. I like Brown. I'm telling you what, he's going to be another guy within the next 2 years. I could see him being in that top 10. He's that big of a playmaker. Jared Goff is not the most athletic quarterback. He does not have the strongest arm. But as long as he continues to get this guy the ball, they're going to be a top team to reckon with. What do you think, Coach? What do you think about Amon-Ra St. Brown? I think he's a player.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a player too, but I mean, he's just a receiver to me. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased, but this guy right here, I know. I know this guy right here walking through the mall. He looks like a superhero. But the only thing is, running backs. I mean, Derrick Henry at 31. I mean, Derrick Henry, let's look at his 6'3", 247 pounds, 4'5", 40 out of Alabama. He's from Florida. I think he's the all-time leading rusher. Coach Bald's shaking his head. Derrick Henry, he's from the muck, isn't he? Is he from Apopka too? Where is he from?
No,
I think he's from up north.
School him, Lydell. School him. Tell him about him. You know all about him.
Yeah, he from up north. I know when it was a Nike combine. It was a Nike combine, and everybody was talking about this running back. And this runner, he went out there and he ran a 4.3 or something like that. And I'm like, bro, is like 6 something and almost 250 and running a 6'3" in high school. And then later on that year, they say he broke the state record with over 2,000 yards in the season or something like that. I'm like, bro, this dude is insane. But he's a great player. He's going to a great team. So hopefully he can help them go to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl ring that Lamar needs for his resume. He's a great dude, man. Great dude.
Howard, do you agree with this? Number 31 overall, Derrick Henry. There are no Chargers on this list. That's true, Stargrove.
It shows you the confidence that Tennessee has in Tyjae Spears from Tulane, because if they didn't think Tyjae could step up and be running back one, they would have never gotten rid of Derrick Henry, because you're talking about a running back still in his prime who, like Lydell said, you're talking about a big guy who can move now. He's one of the best running backs in the league.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, he's a product of Yulee High School, right around that Jacksonville area. And I tell you what, the fact that Florida State, and Miami and USF and Central Florida let this guy get out of the state is baffling. There's no way if they had NIL money that they would have let that guy get out of the state. But, you know, he's a former Heisman Trophy winner there at the University of Alabama. To me, it seems like Tennessee did not use him as much late in the season. So I think he's still got a full tank of gas in him. There's not a guy that works out harder than him. So I'm excited to see what he does in Baltimore. And I would predict that Baltimore Ravens will break the team rushing record this season. Now, I don't know if he's going to hit 2,000, or maybe you have Lamar hit for, 1,500 yards. But I think combined, those two guys in that offense are going to dominate teams. To win games, you have to run out the clock. And I think when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, you'll be able to see them pound the rock. You'll see them run the damn ball and get back to old school smash mouth football. So I'm excited about Derrick Henry and to see what he does. The way they got him positioned, I could see that. How many running backs are successful after the age of 30? I can think of Frank Gore. I can think of Adrian Peterson, but I can't think of many more. So that's my 2 cents. Coach Taylor, you got another offensive lineman from the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
Creed Humphrey. That's the second offensive lineman from Kansas City in the top 50. 6'4", 300 pounds from the Oklahoma Sooners. Creed Humphrey. Howard, how do you feel about Creed Humphrey? This is the second center we've had on this list.
Great young player, been to the Pro Bowl 2 times already. I think now that Kelsey retired, he's probably, arguably, one of the top 2 or 3 centers in the league.
Coach Bald, how do you feel about Creed Humphrey?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely he's going to be the man at center for the next 8-9 years, man. He's still young. I want to say 26 years old, around there. And yeah, man, that's the thing with those Andy Reid teams, man. They always have good, strong, fundamental offensive linemen, and I believe that's because Andy Reid was an offensive lineman. It's amazing to see the success that offensive linemen have when they end up being the head coach. What do you think about that, Coach?
I mean, Andy Reid's been in the NFL and pro football a long time, man. That's why he's successful.
Hall of Famer?
Huh?
Hall of Famer?
Yes. He's got 3 Super Bowls. The only coach that's got 2 Super Bowls that ain't in there is the coach from the Giants, Tom Coughlin. Creed Humphrey, how do you feel about Creed Humphrey, Lydell, at number 30? You said center's like the most important position.
Mm-hmm. That actually is a great number for him. That's actually a great number. Maybe probably 5 spots a little higher, but 30 is a perfect spot for him.
Number 29, tackle out of the New York Giants. And I mean, I think this is the first New York Giant that we've had on the list. Andrew Thomas. 6'5", 315 pounds out of the Georgia Bulldogs. I'd say the Georgia Bulldogs have the most people on this list. It's them or Alabama. Andrew Thomas. Coach Ball's pretty fired up about Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, this is going to be the first and last New York Giant that you probably heard in the top 50 in the last 10 years. I mean, the Giants, they have just not hit it right in basically every category that you could think of, but I think they did with this tackle. And like you said, the University of Georgia is probably going to have more guys on this list than anybody else. I see you shaking your head. What do you got, Howard? I know you're a Giants mark.
Well, when we get down to number 11, just so you all know, calm down. We will see another Giant in the top 25.
Danny Dimes?
That's got to be Thibodeau, man. Thibodeau's a freakazoid.
Nope.
What else you got? Let's hear some more Giants talk.
I don't know. I mean, how is anybody better than Thibodeau? He's like an action figure.
Dexter Lawrence.
Wow.
Okay, well, I mean, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have the man, the myth, the legend in the Granite 617, a.k.a. Bobby H. to the Nizzo. Yes.
Where's
yes.
Fuckboy? Where's Fuckboy? Where's the
Here he is. Smitty 516. There he is. There.
You want
Where's
to
the old man?
pistols? Or
He
you
said
want
he
to
could beat
fucking
the Paul
fight?
brothers.
You're gonna get hurt.
Oh
You get really bad.
Yeah.
You get hurt really bad. Hey, where's the paperwork? Where's the paperwork? I want to see it. Show it to the fucking men. Because you're a fugazi, you're full of shit. Those who call people rats are usually the rats. The fucking feds hate me because I told them the shit has 5 fucking times. The fucking cops hate me, but they respect me because I never sold out anyone in my fucking life. I'll put you in 8 different fucking holes, kid. 8 different fucking holes. You fucking pussy.
This is
Howard,
like
517. Where are you? 517 in Massachusetts. Where the fuck are you? Let's meet.
He says, you are phony. My uncle knows
Keyboard
you.
warrior. Keyboard warrior. Come on, let's meet somewhere. I'll put it on.
He says you're a phony. My uncle know you. He says his uncle know you. And
his uncle's probably a fucking rat.
I agree. I agree. Andrew Thomas. ATG. He's so tough. ATG.
Who's your uncle? I don't know any Smitties or any Smiths. What the fuck are you talking about? Tell your uncle to come see me. Tell your uncle to come see me, and you watching your little car seat because you're gonna watch him get hurt, and I'm gonna hurt you too. You make 5, 10 guys. I hurt all these.
Penei Sewell. Now, Penei Sewell, if I had to put the soul of someone, I put in the granite 617 soul and this Polynesian body, and I have a gold jacket guy. This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, you're fired up right now in the granite, but
I just got done working out. I just got pouring
You're
sweat.
ready.
Pouring sweat.
You're ready to fight. I think you need to make a video of you hitting the heavy bag and show this guy, Smitty 517, who went MIA for 3 days. Yeah, Penei Sewell. What do you think about Penei Sewell in the granite?
I don't know enough about him, honestly.
He
got game.
He gave
Howard.
up back the whole season last year. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah. And they got him
Who's
at number what?
For? Who's he
The
playing for,
Lions.
Howard?
Detroit.
Oh, Lions?
Penei
I know
Sewell.
of him. I'm just trying to picture him.
Yeah, if you look on your screen, I got a picture of him right here. He's a Polynesian guy. He's from Oregon. He played at the University of Oregon for Alex Maribel.
Oh, yeah. I know who he is
6'5",
now.
335 from the Oregon Ducks right here.
Yeah,
Penei
that kid's an
Sewell,
animal.
Coach Ball.
That kid's an animal.
Coach Ball, you're a resident offensive line expert. What can you tell us about Penei Sewell?
He's a monster. You know, they line him up in the backfield. They pull him. You know, they have him go in motion. He just, you know, he paves the way. He paves the way for that power rushing attack that we talked about. And I knew once the center showed up that this guy would show up. And he absolutely. I think we mentioned Tristan Wirfs. We mentioned LaRamsey, but this guy as well, man. He is going to dominate for the next 10 or 15 years. The Detroit Lions, they have hit on some draft picks. You see it with him. You see it with St. Brown. They are a force to be reckoned with. I believe they probably have 2 more guys probably in this top 50 if you keep going. But yeah, I definitely like them. And he's a leader up front, man. You know, the teams that kind of come out of nowhere like they did, it's because of the offensive line and what they do in the trenches. What do you think? I think we lost Slidell for a second, so let me turn it over to Howard. You watch the big fellas up front. What do you think about him? You love him?
I'm right there with you. You know, I think Detroit has really got pieces in place to make a deep run in the playoffs this year and finally get rid of that losing mentality they've had there for so many years. But you see, and I wouldn't be surprised either if we see 1 or 2 others in the top 50 before we're done.
And I love the fact that they're locking these guys up early. You know, they gave him a monster contract. They gave St. Brown a monster contract. They're gonna have these pillars, these 4 pillars of that program. They're gonna sign these guys for long deals. They gave Goff a lot of money, and I think it's because of the offensive line play that you've been able to see Goff be able to have some time to pick teams apart. And that's my philosophy. Coach Taylor, what do you think about the big fella, number 58? For the Detroit.
I mean, dude, I think Penei Sewell might be the best offensive lineman. He's 28. They got Trent Williams way up here. Dude, Trent Williams is overrated. Trent Williams takes plays off. Trent Williams watches the play. Trent Williams does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and Penei Sewell doesn't. Penei Sewell is a dog. He's a savage. He is in the granite 617. And Smitty 517, I'm not going to block you because I want you to continue to fuel the fire that is in the granite 617. Is it true? Smitty 517 says, is it true you went state's evidence, Bobby Nizzo?
There's my real name, Robert George Neal III. State evidence? What are you out of your fucking mind? Dude, fucking come see me with your fucking uncle. Because I'm going to fucking, and then you're going to fucking say, sitting in a fucking hospital bed saying, I should have never fucking that dude. I don't even know what the fucking, you guys are fucking both rats. You guys are rats. I never ratted in my life. In my fucking life. You fucking coward. Oh, did he really? Real time? I did 2 state bids when I was 19 and fucking 23. Where the fuck did he do time? Because I fucking ran every prison where I was in. Every fucking prison.
I mean,
what does that
even mean? What does that even mean that your uncle did real time?
Real time? What's real time? Upstate is 10 times worse than fucking feds. The feds can suck my fucking dick.
As long as they got me locked up,
pussy.
As long as they got me locked up, that's real time to me.
Damn straight.
Where's
the paperwork, dude?
Real quickly.
All these fucking accusations. Where's the paperwork? Because my shit's public record, motherfucker. And when I see you, I'm going to break you in half like this. Click.
We took a hard left
like this.
There. Yeah. Quinnen Williams, number 27, the New York Jets.
Really do your homework, motherfucker. Do your homework and your research before you call someone a rat.
I mean, my friend put his government name out there. You can Google him.
George Neal the Third, motherfucker. Yeah. Do your fucking homework.
Lydell, you missed a lot of action. This guy, this troll said, "Is it true you went state's evidence, Bobby Nizzo?" And then in the granite puts his
all right, check
real
this
name
out, guy.
out
Hey,
there.
check this out, coach. Hey, in the union, check this out. Me and my fucking boy went and gave this guy humble pie to sucker punch our business manager. My friend died a week before pretrial, 6 months after I fell off my porch, right? They want us to fucking, we could have blamed it on him, me and my business manager, his lawyer, right?
Yes.
I said, no. I wouldn't even do that to my worst enemy. I looked at my lawyer, $30,000 man. Go get me something I can fucking do. That was in 2003. Look that up, punk.
Yeah. Look that up.
Punk. And then look up back in the fucking 89, fucking 8 armed robberies, 15 assault batteries with a fucking dangerous weapon, shot put, motherfucker. And then 93, selling cocaine to Navy intelligence and fucking South Shore Suffolk
Navy intelligence. They had the Navy intelligence after you.
No county bids, state time, motherfucker.
Yeah. You could have made a deal and worked for the Navy intelligence. You could have became one of them. You could have become part of the CIA. Yes.
I would never become one of them.
You would never become one of them because when you work for them, you become one of them. Quinnen Williams.
He says he's from Massachusetts. Meet me, motherfucker. You and your uncle and your fucking friends too. You're gonna need a fucking army. Right. You're gonna need an army. Where you gonna find 10 Italian Marines in a hurry? You ain't gonna be able to find them. But I promise you, bring 10 of your toughest guys. I will fucking hurt every one of you. Like dominoes.
Lydell, you weren't here. Smitty 517 said my uncle did real time.
Real time. Now your uncle did real time. The first time fucking slave evidence, dude. You don't know what the fuck. I'm a fucking union enforcer, ex-union enforcer. You know how I got that job? Credibility and respect, cocksucker. I never asked for that job. Eddie Silva, Steve Sigliano. Look those fucking names up too. We would have problem solvers as 1,500 fucking sandhogs and fucking tunnel workers. You ain't shit, motherfucker. You don't got shit.
Coach Ball. Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is number 27.
I'm sorry, Coach Ball.
No, man, no. Dude, I love your intensity level. And I don't want to
hold on. When you call someone a rat, where's the proof? I want to see this fucking proof. Because I need to see it. Because I know who the fuck I am. I don't know if you know who the fuck you are.
There's
you
no
me at 517. What the fuck is 517 area code in Massachusetts? I want to know.
There's no proof coming.
Yeah.
No, there's no 517 in fucking Massachusetts. So you're a troll. You're probably a fat fucking broad with fucking eating Cheetos right now. Fucking cheesy poops or something. Whatever fuck you're eating.
Coach Bald, what's the life lesson that we can take from this situation with Smitty 517?
Look it up.
You know, there's no way that he would say those words in front of my boy's face. There's no way he would talk that stuff. So
no one
man,
would ever say that to me because I'm fucking proven for decade
internet
after decade
thugs.
after decade.
Yes.
The internet thugs are out, and they're out to get us.
I'm not.
It's
I'm not a
okay.
big.
They're just confused. The
I'm not
the
a big-
haters,
not
they're
a
gonna
big
always
fan.
be there. But they're fans. They're just confused fans, is what the haters are. They're confused.
Uh-oh. Stargrove
he's
said
in
517 is in
Thank you,
Michigan.
Stargrove. Oh, Michigan, Detroit. I love Detroit. And I got friends in Detroit. So I'm gonna find out who the fuck you are, dude. And you ain't gonna ever come back. You ain't ever
Yeah.
coming back.
You're
You're all
yes.
done, dude. AD, all done. Detroit.
Done, bud.
Thank you very much.
Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is number 27. Now, y'all, I'm taking Aiden Hutchinson over Quinnen Williams. I like Big Baby. But Coach Ball, how do you feel about Quinnen Williams being 27? We're not even halfway through this list. This is entertainment. This is content. How do you feel, Coach Ball?
I just think that they're giving too much value to people that are not on really good football teams. I mean, the Jets peaked in week 1 last season. Okay, the Jets had that miracle punt return for a touchdown in game 1, and that was the peak of their season. After that, everything kind of went downhill. I know the injuries with Aaron Rodgers, but just on this list in general, I think you're seeing them give a lot more credit to some of these players that are not on, the best teams. I think Williams is getting that, big city votes. You know what I mean? He's getting the big time votes because, hey, man, everybody watches New York football. It's on the top of the news. Here in Tampa, we don't get the respect. Mike Evans won't get his flowers. Chris Godwin won't get his flowers, because we're not a big market franchise. I think this is a big market franchise pick again. Williams, yes, he's nice. He's from Alabama. But, I don't think so, man. They weren't that good last season. They peaked in week 1. Everything went downhill from there. And, man, that's my philosophy on Williams. I believe you should have somebody else in there that could fit that slot. Maybe he's top 50, but I don't have him at 27. That's just my prerogative. You watch a lot of that New York football. What do you think about that, Howard?
Quinnen Williams is not a bad player. He's making $96 million. He had 33 pressures last year. He's going to have to get to the quarterback a little bit more if the Jets are going to win 10 games. I'm kind of like you. I think that might be a good player, but this might be a little bit high for him.
Absolutely. What do you think? Lydell?
Yeah, I'm going with Howard. Yeah, I'll say he'll rank it a little high. The franchise, they didn't really do too much last year or whatnot. They got to win more games. They win more games, and these big names and everything like that should stand out a lot more. But I feel like they just picking favorites from these different franchises, honestly.
Absolutely. Granted, you watch a lot of New England ball. You get to see this guy twice a year playing for the New York Jets. Do you think he's top 27? Do you think he's the 27th best player in pro football?
No, I don't. That's just my opinion, though.
JoJo Kennedy, I am definitely with you, man. Vita Vea is a monster. I agree with you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He is. No, I don't
In the
think
greatest 617 I did time in Massachusetts, never in any other state.
Never did
Maybe
time.
he is
I never
good.
did time in any other state. Why would I have to go to another state to do time? State time's right here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The DOC, motherfucker. Department of Corrections, asshole. Pussy,
Man.
coward, bitch. Come see me, motherfuckers. You're going to get your uncle hurt, too.
Yeah.
We'll see how real he is. Oh, I can't
Bobby
stand
Nizzo.
motherfuckers that talk shit. Like
You
shit
talk-
that's fucking like
You
how
talk
do
a
come
good
up with
game
this? How
by
do
me,
you
my
come up
uncle, Big Mike Livet. I mean, this guy can't even spell. By me and my uncle Big Mike live it. Do you know a Big Mike? I mean, are they just making stuff up?
Oh, believe me, I know they're making stuff up because, like, you know what I mean? I live my fucking life, my whole life. And when I brush my teeth in the morning, I love the reflection that comes back. You probably hate your reflection because you're a fucking snitch, probably. Anyone call someone a snitch? You better have paperwork on that motherfucker. 302s, motherfucker. You know what those are? You're a pussy. You're full of shit, dude. You're full of shit. Where's the paperwork, motherfucker? Get your uncle on fucking here. Get your uncle on here. And you. Let me see this shit.
If you want to step up, Smitty 517, if you want to step up to get beat down, we'll get you on here. You don't even have to show your face. Just come on here on your voice.
You don't want to show his face.
I'll give you my phone number. Kyle Hamilton, safety, Baltimore Ravens, 6'4", 220 pounds. Coach Freeman. Morning, y'all. What a great topic today. It is a position that sometimes stats don't pop. This kid is 6'4", 220 pounds. Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. Lydell, how do you feel about Kyle Hamilton and 6'4", being ranked 26?
Man, when I say Kyle watched quite a bit of games from Baltimore. When they played against the Colts, I believe he had like almost 5 sacks. Like that's a perfect spot for him. That safety rush, that safety blitz. Oh my man, they could not stop him at all. I remember that game like it was yesterday.
In the league,
he's the best in the league.
One of them.
Yeah, he definitely my top 5 for sure.
So you think he's rated low for 26? You think he should be rated higher? Jay Freeman, come on the show if you want.
I want to say about top 15. I want to say top 15.
Wow. Top 15.
Yeah. I like that.
Bobby Nizzo, how do you feel about Kyle Hamilton, safety for the Baltimore Ravens, 6'4", 220 pounds out of Notre Dame?
I think the man that just spoke, I think he's right. Maybe even top 10 because everyone needs a big man to throw to and then block and then to throw to right after they block. Like Gronk, you know what I mean? Like Gronk, like the guy from fucking Kansas City.
Look, man, I'm telling you, Bobby Nizzo. Bobby, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department has just commented on our video. Join the D.C. Police today. I mean, if you can't beat Bobby Nizzo, I mean, the algorithm has sent the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department to Totem Pole Nation. Is it better? I mean, we were talking about the CIA.
Hey, guys, why don't we ask them? Because DC's got all the records, right?
Yes.
Ask them if I'm a fucking rat because I'm the father. They'll say, that guy does not fucking talk. Tells us to go fuck ourselves.
George Neal III.
We got to calm down a little now.
Robert George Neal III. Robert George Neal III.
See, I bet you
show you my ID. I'll show you my ID.
Don't be afraid of jail.
I'll show you. I was never scared of fucking jail. I wasn't scared in the streets. Why would I be scared in jail?
See, I'm deathly afraid of jail. And since we're talking about the Washington police, and that ain't too far from Maryland.
Yes.
There you go. Look,
so don't be
Robert
George
Neal III.
No more bone hits.
Where's
no more bone hits.
Where's this punk? Where's his fucking credentials? There it is right there.
Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department says, let's go Commanders. Man, dude, isn't this amazing, Coach Bald, that we have the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department watching Totem Pole Nation?
Oh, yeah, but you know why?
Lydell's hype. He's got to watch it. Lydell, does it make you feel that the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department YouTube channel is watching us?
That's dope. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty
That's
dope.
dope. See, that's what Bobby Nizzo brings to the table. He can trigger the algorithm, and here comes the Naval Intelligence, the CIA, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. That's what he reminds me of, a younger Justin Simmons. I mean, Coach Bald, as the president of Totem Pole, should we keep this going now that the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department has joined the chat?
Absolutely, but just so you guys know, there probably will not be any Washington Commanders on this list. So if you're waiting for that, you might have to keep waiting. There might be some Baltimore Ravens. So maybe you guys can just drive a little farther over to Baltimore. Maybe you'll see some of these guys that are going to pop up on this list. But man, I'm not surprised. But when you talk about Kyle Hamilton, you're talking about, just a freak, 6'4", 220. He can play in the box, and he's just a playmaker. But I'll tell you what, I'm a little biased here because I'm in Tampa, and we have a playmaker of our own here, Antoine Winfield Jr. He's a guy that's not going to make this list, but if you watch the tape, he's as electrifying as anybody, man. The guy, he brings the smoke to our secondary. And I tell you what,
his father was
a guy back from the Jets.
His
and
father was
I think will be the best tandem in the secondary. We got Jordan Whitehead. Jordan Whitehead is, I believe, nephew of Darrell Revis. So we got Whitehead Island, a.k.a. Revis Island, back here in Tampa. I think you combine him with Winfield, and you have arguably the best safety tandem in the league. But I like Kyle Hamilton, but I think he's getting a lot of love because obviously there's a lot of Baltimore Ravens. I'm seeing a lot of East Coast bias, if you will, on this list. Have we even named anybody since the two 49er players? Have we named anybody else on the West Coast since then, Coach? I haven't heard.
We got a lot of comments here. Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department says, dang it. Stargrove says, I hope they're planning well just in case the upcoming elections doesn't go a certain way. Stargrove, it doesn't matter which way it goes. All right, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, bro. It's pro wrestling. Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department says, thank you, guys. This awesome channel. Coach Jay Freeman, Lydell is playing in Germany, right? In the Granite 617 says, D.C. Metros, respect. My name is Robert George Neal the Third.
I'm asking to look up my record so we can fucking get this fucking Fugazi out of this fucking chat.
Coach Jay Freeman, they're trying to solve these cold cases. Laugh out loud. Yeah, me and Coach Bald are a little worried. We got, what is it? We got Pounds down in Georgetown, and we got a half of Virginia locked down. They're trying to solve some cold cases. Kurt Knight, whose house? Rams house. Kurt Knight, D.C. Metropolitan. This is for you.
They love the
in the grant. It says, "Can you DC Metros look up my record?" It's
of course they
Robert George the Third.
Right. Yep. Because this other kid doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He would have Googled it already.
Bobby, how does it feel that you triggered the algorithm to send the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department to Totem Pole Nation? How does it feel?
I don't know. I don't know if you guys want that type of heat in here, but
yes, we love it.
I don't have a problem.
We have
with
legal representation.
I haven't done no felonies in 30 years. So,
but every day it's hard to what?
It's hard not to commit a felony every day for like little fuck boys like
that's a life lesson.
I'd smack him in the fucking mouth and I'd go to jail. And I promise I'd be out before my super code. I'd be out before my super code. I'd bailed out right like that.
Coach Jay Freeman says Winfield
Jr. actually respect guys that don't rat.
I was going to say best safety tandem in the league. Coach Bald is out of his mind, and Coach Freeman is correct. Winfield's father was a much better player than him.
Wow.
Coach Bald.
Okay, now this is one right here I'm a little fired up about, dude. Coach Jay Freeman said people are asleep and don't watch all those games on the West Coast. Number 25, A.J. Brown, a guy who didn't even finish the season. You're telling me A.J. Brown is better than Ayuk and better than Deebo Samuel last year? The dude tapped out. And my friend Bobby Nizzo said, don't ever tap out unless it's going to cost you 6 months and they're going to snap your elbow or snap your knee. But if they're going to make you go to sleep, just go to sleep for 5 seconds.
And have some dignity and
5 minutes or 5 seconds.
Yep.
How long will we be asleep if they cut the oxygen off?
5 seconds, 7 seconds.
A.J. Brown. I mean, A.J. Brown, number 25 over Ayuk. I know he's talented, but Liddell, like, dude, the guy tapped out last year.
I want to put him at 25. I put him like around by 42-ish, something like that, but not 25. No way.
Not 25. Howard.
Nah.
A.J. Brown, 25.
I'll tell you what, I know they've been shopping A.J. Brown, so, you know, I know Howie Roseman likes to make some move and pick up draft picks, so I wouldn't be surprised to see A.J. Brown on another team before the draft.
What do you think, Bobby? A.J. Brown. I mean, did he not tap out? Did he not quit? I mean, is he the Conor McGregor of the Philadelphia Eagles?
The Eagles are a fucking pretty solid team. From what they can fucking ruin your fucking Sunday. They've been known. They did to the Patriots in the Super Bowl one time. They beat us. You know what I mean? And that was a good team they beat. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd say top 40.
Top 40.
Top 50,
so
somewhere in there.
Today was a landmark show. All right, we had a federal agency join Totem Pole Nation to check out what was going on. Howard, as a lawyer, you don't like that heat, do you, Howard?
I live in Maryland. Washington's a little too close.
Washington's a little too close.
Howard don't do nothing wrong, though. Howard ain't doing nothing wrong.
They don't want to come see me. They got much bigger problems to worry about than me.
You know why I think they came in? You know why I think they came in, Howard? To call this Fugazi out. Because they know the real deal. The eyes don't lie.
I got a question,
don't
though.
lie.
Since I wasn't able to find it. Vidal, how'd the game go last weekend?
It actually went pretty well. It was a breeze.
Yeah.
It was 63-0.
And how many catches did the guy have that you covered?
One for like negative 5.
Nice.
Yeah, he had like 4 targets. But yeah, he only had 1 catch.
We had some PBUs.
Yeah. Yep, and I got a fumble recovery as well too on kickoff.
63-0.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a hell of an offense they got.
Yeah. Was that a high school team? What do those guys do? Turn wrenches for a living? I mean, what do they do, man?
Here's the question I have. Was your defense that good or was their offense that bad?
I'll say both, because the defense, we had 5 or 6 turnovers, and 4 of them was interceptions.
You can't win with 6 turnovers.
Thank you, Elaine.
Yep.
Coach Bald, we went through 50 through 25. Tomorrow will be 25 through number 1. Coach Bald, how do you feel about St. Pete Rejuvenate? How do you think Bobby Nizzo, a.k.a. In the Granite 617, and his feud with Smitty 517, the Fugazi, the guy from Michigan? He's not from Boston. He says him and his uncle.
Well, he already lied, Coach Troy. He said he was from Massachusetts the other day.
Yes. And we found out that his area code is Michigan, and we had the federal government. Washington, D.C. Metro Police, they're not a state agency. That is a federal agency.
That's
so
true.
we are under another federal investigation. And Bobby Nizzo, we're not talking, are we?
Hey,
Fuck no. Ever.
What?
Talk to my lawyer.
Talk
to my lawyer.
Peace. We respect you guys. Thank you for your
absolutely.
Without people like you, people like us wouldn't be safe in this world.
I used
Coach
to
Paul,
hate
how
cops
are
when I
you
was a young
feeling?
kid, but since I had kids, I respect them because I would never call cops, but I want you guys to look out for my kids and their kids. I handle things on my own.
Yes.
Make your jobs easier.
Coach Paul, how are you feeling today?
Hey man, you know what? We're getting a lot of hate, and I just want to show love to my main man, Bobby.
Absolutely, you're right, Coach.
No, they wouldn't say that to you anywhere near you, especially if you're in the room. So the haters are just confused fans.
Good luck
That's
to them.
all that is.
Good
brother.
luck.
That's all that is.
Their whole face would be on the other side of their fucking head.
You know what they
That's
say?
on my kids.
Hey,
on my kids.
Hey, we will.
On my
We'll
kids.
throw some cement
y'all
shoes
know
on
that
you and see how good you float. That's what we do.
Exactly.
They say
after I give them the business, the business.
Amen.
you
They
know
would
that
The bloody bean.
you know
You
that
would tune them up.
hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Well, yeah, insecure people fucking talk shit too. I'm not insecure. I got nothing but confidence my whole fucking life.
I'm not
I mean,
insecure.
dude.
I just got anxiety.
Yes. And Bobby Nizzo, he is the cure for anxiety. When you got Bobby Nizzo, Lydell, and Coach Bald, there's nothing to have anxiety about. They are the problem solvers. Lydell was bringing that USA Magic to the defensive backfield in Germany. Amen, Coach Jay Freeman. Coach Bald, as president of Totem Pole, the CEO and chief of Totem Pole, Cleats and Dreams, yo, what's good? I'm back. Chiefs, Cleats and Dreams, this is for you because you are a new member, and Lambo was asking you all that crazy stuff about Meek Mill, and he didn't know that you were a member of Totem Pole.
Meek Mill, oh, not Meek Mill. Millie's one of his best friends just got popped yesterday early morning from the feds for some bullshit, allegedly. You know what I mean?
So that means he works for them now.
Lydell, do you have an
Because he's
agent?
going to talk.
No, I don't think he'll rat on his friend. I don't think he will.
What you say, Albert?
You have an agent right now?
No.
We got to get my boy hooked up with somebody.
Well, I think you're ready and willing, Howard. Let's get it.
It can't be me. I don't have that license anymore. And
Well, we're not worried about the rules. We can get you that license, bada bing, bada boom. Can we, Bobby Nizzo?
Ingenuity. Ingenuity.
Ingenuity.
$5,000 and you got to pass the test. That's how well they protect these dudes.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. That's an easy job right there, Bobby Nizzo, isn't it? That's light work.
They take no responsibility if anything goes wrong either.
Cleason Dream says, I was here yesterday. Coach Bald, send us out.
You know
We
what?
need to get the man there a contract.
When you can focus on being a blessing, God makes sure that you're always blessed to abundance. So I'm going to send you guys out on that. Check out St. Pete Rejuvenate if you're anywhere in the Florida area and you're suffering from depression, anxiety, PTSD. We can take care of you. If you stay hydrated because of this heat and these temperatures, or you need the vitamins you're not getting in your daily or monthly routine, hit us up. We can change your life. That's what we're here for. What do we do here, Coach Taylor? What is our mantra? What is our motto with Totem Pole Nation? Tell them, Coach.
Have a good day. You got a great day for it. We are the low man on the totem pole.